Ooh, ooh. Do the. Hey. Welcome to another episode of Two Joes and a Pro. As always, you got your guys, Kenny, Ryan, and Brian. My boys, what's going on?
Nothing,
I
man.
feel
Just
great.
chilling.
Just chilling. It's another episode. I know you guys are like, damn, these guys are late today. We're not expecting. No, 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 no. We're here. Okay. And we're gonna get straight to it, bro. College football. Can't wait for NCAA to get out. Football's right around the corner. A lot of things to start heating up. It's I saw something on ESPN. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I saw it on ESPN talking about, with all the. Do you guys know all the teams that are switching over and going through the different conferences?
I
Have
just
you
know
guys
Mm.
been seeing it?
Pac-12 is gone or whatever.
Yeah. Is it? I guess they changed the Pac-12 name to something else.
Oh, did they? I
Um,
didn't know anybody was still left there. I know Oregon went to the Big Ten, and so did I think Cal maybe. I don't know. I'm not. I know for sure Oregon, but
Oh, there's
yeah.
teams moving from the FCS
Yeah.
to FBS.
It's yeah. It's
James
oh, I
all.
didn't
Mad
know that.
James Madison,
Well, that was
Sam
last year.
Houston. Oh, when is this article
JMU was
written?
last year. They just weren't bowl eligible.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are.
And then Conference USA. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Missouri State, Delaware, Kennesaw State, Sam Houston, and Jacksonville State.
Yeah. So what I was trying to highlight was the rivalries that they were talking about. I don't know why I can't. It's not popping up. I can't find it, but they were talking about. Sorry. Goodness to you. So they were talking about all the new rivalries because Texas, Oklahoma, they're going to be in the SEC. Then you have UCLA, Oregon, Washington, and I'm forgetting one. UCLA, Oregon, Washington, USC, right? USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington. Yes, all of them are going to the Big Ten. So they're like some old school games that they said was good back in the day and reuniting rivalries. Then I saw that Stanford, and somebody else is going to the ACC, which I don't understand how the hell that's going to work. Um,
A lot of travel.
yeah, a lot of it's going to be a lot of traveling for the teams um, that are switching.
When is this taking into effect?
This year. This year. Uh,
They need to just do conferences by regions and just have
okay.
like 4 conferences.
There's too much money
Okay.
involved now.
So
It's
exactly. So let
ridiculous.
me hit it real quick. 2024 teams, right? ACC is going to be Boston College, Cal, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, Georgia Tech, Louisiana, Miami, North Carolina, NC State, Pittsburgh, SMU. That's a new addition. Stanford, Syracuse, Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest. Right. Cal, the people that are going to and from California is going to be a motherfucker. Like SMU is not that bad, but Stanford and Cal, they're gonna lose a lot of games. And the teams that go there, those games are going to be close, right? Just because that travel is a bear. The Big Ten, you're going to have 2024. You're going to have Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Maryland, Michigan, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Oregon State. I mean Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Purdue, Rutgers, UCLA, USC, Washington, and Wisconsin, right? So the only addition is Oregon, UCLA, USC, and Washington, which I don't. I really don't. I think Oregon is going to be competitive. USC going to be competitive. UCLA and Washington is going to be a toss up. I don't know how they're going to be. But it should be kind of interesting, right? Because uh, I think Oregon plus versus Ohio State last year, the year before, that was kind of a close game. But they had implications to the end of the year, and I wonder how it's going to work for Michigan. Normally, get skating through on their division, they only had to face against Ohio State. Now they got to actually play teams in their division and see if they're going to make it. Like they normally are shooing into the Big Ten championship, but now it's going to be questionable. The Big 12, only the new additions there. So last year was BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, UCF joined. Okay, and this year coming up, you're going to have Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. So the Big 12 is going to be loaded. 2, 4, 12, 16, 18 teams. 18 teams. That's a lot of teams in there. The Pac-12 is
It's
gone pretty
gone.
much. It's pretty much just Oregon State and Washington State. but they're supposed to be taking some, I think, of the WAC teams or something like that and bringing them in there. They got some agreement. I don't think they're finalized it yet. SEC, really right now, they just have Oklahoma and Texas that is added into them. But then, the AAC is really the conference of just the newcomers. All the newcomers, all the FCS schools that are upgrading, they are going to the ACC or AAC. So you got Charlotte, FAU, North Texas, Rice, UAB, UTSA. They joined last year. And then this year,
Cal.
a couple teams left. SMU left out of there, but everybody else, I think it's the same. Conference USA, too. They added Kennesaw State this year. Jacksonville State came last year, Liberty last year, New Mexico State, Sam Houston.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why don't they just make like four conferences and just split them up in between there? And like Brian said, do it regionally.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to
Northeast, Southeast, Northwest, Southwest. Just do 4.
I mean, you'd basically be dominated by the Southeast would be the dominant region the whole time, every time.
So
I think that's
most of your feeders. Either. Most of your feeders are coming out of Texas and Florida, and Alabama and Georgia.
You still got to recruit though.
You do, but NIL will help, but I don't know.
Yeah. So
what does it matter? Look at the SEC. Like that's where most of the players go, anyways, right?
No, you get a lot of the Big Ten gets a lot of action. So does the Big 12. The 3 of those conferences are big, and then you have a couple teams in the ACC like Miami and Clemson.
But your argument,
for NFL players.
Well, they'll get some talented players that go there.
Oh, ACC. I think it depends, right? Because the Big 12 is going to get talent because primarily most of the guys are in Texas, right? So Texas, and Texas A&M, TCU, all those schools, they get a lot of the Texas players. But now it's going to be interesting with Texas shifting over, Texas A&M and the SEC now. Oklahoma now shifting over because they used to bring some of those guys from Texas to Oklahoma. They're in the SEC now. So now it's like, who is really going to the Big 12?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like the powerhouse teams of the Big 12 are now in SEC. So it's kind of like if you want to watch football, you need to watch the SEC or the Big 12 or the Big 10. That's it. Like ACC, you guys got Cal and Stanford. Who gives a fuck? Like nobody cares about them, right? Who cares about teams in the Big 12? Colorado, Arizona. Okay, cool. That's fine. But it's going to be the Big 10 and the SEC, and they're just making that stronger. And I think the money that they got coming in, the billions of dollars, it makes sense too. Why not? Right? I think they should have 2 teams from both divisions make it.
They probably will.
Yeah. I forgot this year's going to 12 too. They're moving it to 12 this year. So yeah, you're going to see that.
I wish that they redid the Big 10. I get, but it's just I hate there's like an East and a West, but like most of the West teams suck.
Yeah, it's
but that's going to be different this year though.
Are they switching up the East and West?
No, the West is going to gain like Oregon and USC.
Oregon, USC, UCLA, and Washington.
But that doesn't impact Michigan or Ohio State. Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State are all in the East. And Michigan State as well.
I thought
the East is always
it's
always like the big teams, and then that's why you ended up with like Iowa in the Big Ten championship because they're in the West.
But to that point too, though, right, where they never Michigan only had to play Penn State and Ohio State. Now you got to play a USC team, right? You have to play a Washington team, an Oregon team. I don't know. I think USC will find a way because Lincoln Riley always is competitive. But I do like what they got going on in Oregon. They have a lot of good players up there. They're like a quarterback factory right now. I don't know how they got Dylan Gabriel up there. They got forgot what's it, the guys, the youngin from UCLA. He was the number 1 quarterback. They got him in there. They got a lot of people up there, and they always rebuild with the talent. So it's gonna be interesting how that works out because they're gonna have to play those guys. And I think the travel will take a factor. It's going to take a factor for sure. Some games, if it's not going to equate to wins or losses, it will equate to, as far as betting, point spreads and things like that being affected. Before we switch up, I want to say shout out to Coach Fran, Syracuse. He's getting a lot of pub right now, and he deserves it, man. I hope they do really good. Probably go out to a game this year there. So just give him a shout out there. And then I was curious on you guys' take with the new NIL rules that just they pushed, I think, last week, maybe Thursday, Friday. If you guys didn't get a chance to see that, now they actually approve colleges being able to play the players.
Yeah, isn't that's separate from NIL, right?
No, it's still NIL, but now rather than getting a deal there, a college can say, "Hey, we're going to pay this player. So, hey, we want you. We're going to give you for 4 years you're here. We're going to give you 500,000. We'll give you $1 million." But now they can actually fund it out of their pockets. Before it was we just give you room and board, tuition. Now we say, "All right, we can give you money too for coming to our school." So now you don't necessarily have to only depend on NIL if you are a school that doesn't have a lot of boosters. You could just use it yourself.
But
how's it regulated?
Yeah,
it's
Is
not
there a
right
cap.
now. It's not
So
right
it's
now.
just it's so like the Alabama could just be like, you get 2 million, you get 3 million. Like,
yes, that's why people say they got to ring it in, because what you're gonna have. Don't let Harvard and Yale get into here.
Exactly,
bro. Their endowment is multi-billion.
Yeah,
multiple billions in
You're
there.
gonna see
They go in there and say, "Hey,
the Ivy League's gonna make a comeback."
Think about this. If I'm a school like Harvard or Yale, I have the name, right? Princeton too. Like all those only people are really not Brown and Dartmouth and all, because nobody's going all the way up there. Sorry, bro. But Stanford too, right? But
they're not Ivy League, but yeah.
I mean,
they got it bad because they got a lot of Silicon Valley money. But you got a Harvard or Yale with those endowments in Princeton, you say, "Hey, bro, you come here, you got the name. We're gonna plug you to wherever you need to go. You got the pull anywhere in the world. You're gonna get top tier education, and we can give you $4 million, bro. Set the trend. You could be the trendsetter. We'll give you $4 million, $1 million a year for your 4 years here, or as long as you're here, we'll give you $1 million a year." People gonna be like, "All right," and all you need is a couple dudes to throw a little wrinkle and shake shit up, just like the HBCU wave, where everybody's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to HBCU," and coaches start getting pissed, like, "Why the fuck would you go to HBCU?" But then now it was like laying the playing field. It's going to be the same thing, right? I know it's going to pop up. It's going to happen. You can't tell me the Ivy Leagues don't want to win a national championship or want to be competitive from the sense of like, "Oh, I get her name out there." You know how crazy that will be if Yale makes it to the 12 playoffs or Harvard does?
Yeah, that'd be insane in this day and age. I mean, they used to dominate football back in the day, but
Yale would be like making
like the early 1900s,
like,
but still.
It's going to be nothing for them to say, "Oh, petition. Let's get into the FBS next year. D1. All right, we'll hop in the AAC trash ass conference. We'll hop in there. Yeah. We're going to get the money, put the money up. Let's do it. New facilities, all that. Good." They get in there. You know they're alumni, but you see the Army and Navy game, how that is. You're going to see they're going to flood. They're being all the Yale, Bulldogs. You can be like, "Damn, bro, I didn't even know there was Yale fans." So anyway.
That would be crazy.
That's what I got. That's what I got for college. NBA is really good right now. Boston did what Brian said they were going to do. They beat the crap out of Pacers. I just think the Pacers let them the first 2 games. The Pacers should have won. They let Boston have it, letting them off the hook.
No, game 2 they were blown out the whole game. That was the game where I told you they were going to win by at least 12, and then they won by 16.
Yeah, but it was close in the beginning, and then they flopped. And then game 3.
Every game's close in the beginning. They start out 0-0.
Game 3, Nimbar had a hell of a game, and they lost in a turnover. Drew Holiday had a steal, and then game 4, Derek White hit that shot, and it's like, all right, cool, we'll see you. And then we talked about it, and the worst nightmare is coming true for Boston Celtics, because the way the Mavericks are playing right now, if they have to play the Mavericks, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to be tired in the motherfucker. Because Derek White will foul out. Drew Holiday will foul out. They cannot fuck with Kyrie and Luka. I'm telling you right now, if the Western Conference is going to win it.
No.
This Western Conference, y'all best bet is have Minnesota win. And I was hoping Minnesota come through, but Minnesota They had multiple leads and they just can't get it done in the class.
I feel the exact opposite of you, Kenny. I would much rather, as a Celtics fan, play the Mavericks. I think it's a better matchup for the Celtics.
No.
Yeah, because Minnesota's a big team, and that's what can beat the Celtics, is a big team.
But what I'm telling you is that the Mavericks are so fucking gritty right now, and they're playing excellent defense. They're getting great play out of Gafford right now. PJ Washington is knocking down shots. They got Hardy coming off the bench. He's knocking down shots. And then Kyrie and Luka together right now, it's fucking scary. It's scary.
I'm telling you, I'm not worried.
Okay. You can't. The thing is this. You can't do that. Like Boston can't do that. Oh, get lazy. You can't get lazy. You can't get lazy. You can't get lazy, or you're gonna get crucified. You can't get lazy, bro. You can't. And Boston gets lazy a lot. That's why I think Minnesota works, because Minnesota with Rudy Gobert, that drop defense that he be doing, that shit is trash. That shit does not work. And Porzingis not being there, like, all right, now we just got all shooters. We got a lot of space on the floor. Big man, whatever his name that you got from Boston, set the screens, cool. It's easy work. But anyway. That's what I got, man. I know I've talked the majority of the time. It's probably 40 minutes. Like, damn, Kenny.
You know, I will say about the Western Conference, the Mavs are in a little bit of scary territory right now. And the reason being is they let the Wolves get a win. Now it's going back to Minnesota. If they get another win, then they create momentum. And then all they need to do is take care of Game 6. And Game 7's in the bag.
No, it doesn't matter.
So I'm telling you, Minnesota... They have a good chance of winning.
The hole is too deep.
I don't think so.
I want Minnesota to win.
I don't think it's deep at all.
No, the hole is too deep. And they ain't Mandingo. So it's not happening. So
I'm just saying you could book them to win Game 5. They're winning Game 5.
No.
Yeah.
No, because I booked them to win Game 1. And I booked them to win Game 2.
I know. I
understand. I booked them to win Game 3.
I understand, but
and they lost all of them after they had leads in all of them.
I know, but
there's not a game yet they got.
One of them was a game winner by Luka. That could have gone either way.
Exactly.
You don't know. It could easily be 2-2 right now.
The first game they had a lead and they gave it up. The second game they had a lead at the end and they gave it up.
I know. It's a common theme in the NBA. A young team makes young mistakes.
Well, guess what?
That's what the Pacers did.
Kyrie cooking. Kyrie is cooking right now.
Not really. He's not really cooking. He had 16 last game. Like he's not like going off, man.
No, see, Ryan, do you hear how Brian just says one stat? He said he had 16 last game.
He's averaging like barely 20 points a game for the series. Like, I don't understand how that's cooking, Kenny. Okay. If I'm giving up 20 to Kyrie, I'm happy with that. Like, whatever.
Okay.
I just don't want Kyrie to get 40.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep him.
He had 30, 20, 33, and then 16.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm confused what he said. He had 30 game 1, right? 30. Go ahead, Ryan.
20, 30, 20, 33, and 16.
Yeah, I don't know. 35 and 4. He's not really cooking. He's barbecuing in first game 1. They won that one. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Game 2. What does the stat sheet say?
20.
He had 20. 26 and 4.
6 and 4.
Quality. That's quality. Game 3.
33.
What's the assistant?
4 and 3.
33 and 4 and 3.
16, 4 and 2.
16, 4 and 2.
I'm just saying, put it like this. If it is Boston and Dallas.
Game.
Hey, look at this. Boston and Dallas. If it is Boston and Dallas. Let's just say Luka, Kyrie cancel out Tatum and Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the better team that's remaining of the rest of the players? It's Boston. Boston, hands down, is a much better team.
No, they're not.
Outside of their 2 stars.
No, they're not, bro.
Yes, they are.
You know why they're not? Because Drew Holiday is not that guy. He's not Drew Holiday from New Orleans. He's Drew Holiday, the defensive guy. Derek White has shown you to be spotty. He does good when, guess what, there's no pressure on him, but when there's pressure on him, he's not good.
What? When there's a tie game and he hits that 3 to win the game? I think that's pressure.
That's one shot. Just like
you said, he's one of the most clutch guys on the team.
Bro, that's just because he's a clutch guy on the team doesn't mean he's clutch. That's not saying a lot. All right? So, like, with that being said, you have a Gafford that's playing hard right now. He's going to challenge Horford. He's going to challenge the other big man that y'all got. You got
We don't have another big man other than Horford, unless Porzingis comes back.
Who is slowing down PJ Washington? it's not easy
I
for
mean, we just
a
need somebody to put a hand in his face. He's not shooting that
How?
well right now.
What? Are you serious?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
serious.
no. You're not. You just talking. You just talking.
No, I'm not.
He's averaging 50. He averaging 15 points right now for this series, and he's shooting 54% from the three. What are you talking about? He's not shooting good. He's shooting 57% from the field. How is he not doing
In
good
this series?
in this series?
No.
Yes, he's averaging.
He hasn't been hitting his props.
4 assists, 54.5 3-point percentage, 57.1 field goal percentage versus Minnesota. How is he not? How is he not? Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I know that's surprising. And then somebody that I didn't give credit to, shout out to my guy Sal for like, nah, bro, you got to pay attention to him. Derek Jones Jr. is playing great defense. I still don't care what nobody say. He can't shoot worth shit. People keep saying he's a 3-point shooter. He's gotten better at 3-point shoot, but he's not a shooter, bro. But he's playing hella. He played good on defense, bro, and that's going to give both of them, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, fits because they got long players. I'm telling you, bro, it's not sweet like you think.
Dallas don't play defense. I ain't worried about them.
Dude, all the Dallas teams are doing good except for the Cowboys. It's gonna be great.
Man. I don't know what you're talking about, PJ Washington. He was 4-10 game 1. He's 4-11 game 2. That's just field goals.
I'm looking at the 3-point percentage, and like I said, Minnesota, he's shooting 54.5.
That must be accounting for the whole regular season too. Then,
I don't know. I'm just looking what it says on here. It says 54.5. That's what it says versus Minnesota.
PJ Washington.
So it says what, 25%, 33%, 22%. That's what it says right here. But versus Minnesota, he's shooting 54.5.
No. That's taken in regular season.
It could be. It could be. But guess what?
He was 2 for 6 game 1 and threes. 0 for game 2. 2 for 6 game 3.
He's shooting 22 points.
Like, how are you getting to 50%?
Bro, all right, what do we need? What are we looking for?
PJ Washington, 3-point percentage.
Bro, in the semifinals, he shot 47%.
In which
I ain't talking about semifinals. I'm talking about right now, Kenny, against
22%.
Quarterfinals, he shot 33%. Like
he's averaging 22% from the
for this series right now. But I'm saying versus Minnesota on this joint. Let me screenshot this.
It was 46.9.
Click on his name. It's going to tell you 3-point percentage versus Minnesota.
Yes, Kenny, and I'm telling you that's regular season.
Oh man,
we don't care about the regular season.
It's versus Minnesota. Regular
no,
season,
it's not. It's different.
Versus Minnesota.
It's different, man. You know, guys miss games in the regular season. They're sitting. Like, no, it's just that's bullshit. What is he doing right now against them in the playoffs?
Okay, bro.
Not good. 22% from 3.
I apologize. Oh, what is Derek White doing? Is he doing something? 22%, 25%. He shot 50%, 37%.
Yeah.
How many threes?
I don't know. He's a volume shooter. He gets at least 2 for 9,
2 for 8, 3 for 8. Come on, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, you skipped over the 50% one.
I told you 50%.
What was that one? Well, how many threes was that?
Huh? 8 threes. He shot 4 for 8. Oh, okay. You're not winning with somebody shooting 4 for 8 for one game and then 3 for 8, 2 for 8, 2 for 9.
When he's like their fourth scorer, yeah,
he might as well be Karl Anthony Towns. But remember your comment that you said. Your comment was that, hey, say that Luka and Kyrie are x'd out by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Who else is going to get it done? And I'm trying to tell you that Boston Celtics can't get it done. They can't. You're laughing. Who the fuck else? You're laughing. Who else? You're laughing. Do you know what that laugh is? Ryan, that laugh is for somebody that is scared, Ryan.
I'm not scared at all.
You hear that laugh, Ryan? We have nothing else to say back. You're like, ha, 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 ha. You have nothing to say back.
Derek White is a better shooter than anybody Dallas has besides Kyrie and Luka.
What did you tell me? What have you done lately?
Yeah.
2 for 9.
It's better than PJ Washington's shit lines.
4 for 8.
So
I'm just saying shit.
I'm just saying math is math. Derek White greater than PJ Washington.
They're about the same in my book.
Who are you going to throw at me next?
They're about the same in my book.
Yeah, your math is wrong.
Ryan, what do you think? What do you think, Ryan? What do you think?
I think that the Celtics have nothing but downward spiral. They only have disappointment in them. They're gonna choke.
I'm telling you.
I mean, they might.
They're cursed by Brady.
By Brady.
Yeah, the whole Boston will never win another championship ever again. Like the city of Boston.
You gotta pray that Drew Holiday has another series that he had this one. You gotta pray that he just keeps staying in his New Orleans bag and play how he is. Because right now, this first game one, he had 28, 8-7, 15, 10-3, 14, 3-9, 17, 2-9. Okay, you can get it done there. But a series before, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a different matchup.
Miami, trash.
I mean, Celtics haven't been tested.
Exactly. Cleveland, blah. But now he's going to have to be tested. And somebody's going to foul out. Luka cannot be guarded by anybody. There's nobody on the Celtics that can guard Luka. Nobody.
I'm not worried about Luka. He's going to get his 35. That's fine.
And he's going to get his 35, and then Kyrie going to cook because can't nobody stop Kyrie either.
Yeah.
Kyrie's in his NBA Finals bag a couple years ago, 2016, 2015 that was, when the Cavaliers was playing against a Golden State and Kyrie took that final shot. That's what his bag is right now. You can't guard him.
I mean, we'll see.
It's like N1 mixtape tour when he got the ball in his hand. And just throw the ball up.
Celtics in 6 if they play the Mavs.
All right, cool. I'm sorry, Ryan. I know I went on a tangent. I apologize. That's all I got for basketball and college football. 40 minutes later.
All right. Real quick, NHL playoffs. We got Dallas versus Edmonton. Dallas is up 2-1 in the series, and I think the last I saw they were tied up 2-2.
Come on,
yeah,
man.
In the second period, and then so anyways, I think that's going to be a game 7. Like it just feels like it is to me. And then NHL for the East, you got the Rangers and the Panthers, and the Panthers are up 2-1, I think, on the Rangers.
It's 2-2.
It's 2-2. My bad.
Yeah, it's tied.
Okay. So yeah.
That's a good series too, though.
That's a good series. I told you all last week that the Panthers were going to hang around because they're a gritty team. They could win. I still favor the Rangers, but they got to play the games. So,
yeah, I think it all depends on how physical Panthers could be.
Well, that's their game. That's their game. It's just to like pester. They don't let up. They're relentless. They just are always pressuring. And you know, the Rangers are used to like being able to like get up on a team and then the team lays down. You know, that's usually what happens when you're a superior offensive team. But the Panthers ain't gonna lay down. So
yeah, I do think that the Panthers can't get in the shootout. They can't get in those high scoring games. They got to keep it low, like 5 goals or lower. They can't get in these 5-4, 6-3, 6-5. They can't get in those type of games.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they can't put goals up. That's just not their strong point, and that's what the Rangers like to do.
Right. Yeah, the Panthers need to score 3 or less goals and win. That's their type of game. Yeah, for sure.
They're the Boston Celtics.
What? The Boston Celtics are the number 1 offense.
Yeah, funny. They're literally like Florida, like Miami Heat. Miami Heat play that type of game.
There you go.
Very defensive.
That's better.
Yeah. So.
Anyways, baseball. Not much has changed since last week, but I did want to get y'all's thoughts on MLB just came out and they are integrating the Negro League stats with MLB stats, and I was just wanting to know what your all's take was on it. I talked to my coworker about it a little bit today, and just had an interesting perspective. He and I both agreed that like it's better to keep them separate because they didn't play against each other. But I didn't know how you guys felt about that. It'd be like comparing the Canadian Football League with NFL stats. Like
I would say
they're not quite the same.
But when you say Canadian Football League and NFL stats, you're saying it as if it's a downgrade, right? Because Canadian football.
I'm not saying it's a downgrade. I'm saying it's a different league.
But when I'm saying that comparison is like a downgrade because what we have seen is that a lot of those players that were in the Negro leagues, when they came to MLB, they have great careers, right? The guys that did come over, and a
Right.
lot of their talent was actually better than what the MLB had at the time. So it's kind of like one of those things that is some people are going to say, oh no, they shouldn't. Other people are going to say no, they should. But when you look at the talent across the board, it was, if not, it was probably better in the Negro League than it was in actually in the MLB, which some people might disagree with. But if you look at the talent pool, it will show you.
I mean, maybe you can make arguments both ways. I mean, because you had guys in the Negro leagues that didn't even have like the proper equipment. Some of them weren't even playing with gloves. So like,
Yeah.
if you're hitting the ball against the defense that doesn't have 9 gloves out there, let's
But
just
when
say
you,
like
but
that's gonna up your average and all your stats and everything.
yeah, but
So
you like I get what you're saying, right? But that's across the board on both sides. It's not like MLB. Everybody just had gloves. People had bad equipment in MLB too. It's not like
no, they
people were
didn't.
out.
The teams paid for all this stuff.
Bro, the MLB back then was not the MLB what you see today.
Well, I
Like
know that,
so that's
but
what I'm saying. Like the equipment it wasn't just because we assume because it's the MLB is like the image you're thinking like, oh, all the money they got. Like it wasn't like how it is now. How it is now is way more money they put into it to make sure it's a quality game. Back then, it was not at the same value that people have on it now. So like back then, it wasn't as if people in the Negro League were just catching the ball with their damn hands, right? But at the same time, it's like
I
it's
know. I'm just saying, but like if you don't play against certain teams, you don't know how you're going to perform against them. And regardless of what sport you're talking about, you can make the same comparison with the NBA, ABA. Like they're great. Obviously, there was great players in the ABA that came into the NBA, like Dr.
yeah,
J.
and
I
the
mean,
stats is in there.
and the stats are in there. Like, but you don't know how some of those NBA teams would have fared against the ABA teams, and
Yeah,
vice versa.
but what
And the
I'm
same
saying is
thing with the two different baseball leagues.
But what I'm saying is that there are good players on both sides, right?
I
So
understand.
putting the comparison is like, oh, we don't know how the MLB players will be in the Negro leagues and vice versa, Negro leagues and MLB players until they actually integrate it. And then you saw the cream rise to the top, right? But great players from both sides rose to the top. So
Sure.
it's kind of like
Yeah, I'm
it's
not
more.
saying that there wasn't talent. What I'm trying to say is unless you play against each other, like you don't know how you would do in the same situation that they were in. Like you don't know how the MLB players would have fared against some of the Negro League pitchers
But
necessarily
that's
because
like
they weren't there. They
yeah,
didn't
but that's
play
like
it.
college. That's like college football, bro. It's like college football when they say, "Hey, you can't say that a Cincinnati team could compete with Alabama because they don't play the same type of talent." But then when they play each other and Cincinnati holds their own, then people are like, "Oh shit, they were actually not that bad." Right?
Yes.
Like it's kind of that kind of like comparison where it's like
Right,
just
but you
because you
don't
don't
know
play
until you
against it,
see it.
yeah, until you see
That's
it, but you
all.
don't have to see it to believe it.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying. I
All
think
the top players that were in the Negro Leagues when they came to the MLB, they did just as well. So then it's kind of like, okay,
well, I
like,
don't know that for sure. I would have to look at the numbers. Like I'm just saying. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. Did Jackie Robinson's average stay the same, or did it go down? Did it go
I
up?
don't know his
You
average,
know
but
what I
when he
mean?
came to
Or was he better at stealing bases in the majors versus Negro leagues? Like what different things that he did well. We don't know. I'd have to look at the numbers before I could agree or disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying based upon like if you look at their names and then look at the careers they had in the MLB, you're like, damn, they had a good career in MLB, and then they had an even just as decent career in doggone the Negro League. So
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's really uh it's really that big of a deal. I think some people are going to be like, oh, it shouldn't be this. Like it doesn't matter. I think it should be included because baseball is baseball, right? Just like football stats should be football stats. Do you discredit a guy because he played at Temple versus playing Ohio State? If he ran for 5,000 yards, he ran for 5,000 yards, right? Like you can't
No, I
discredit a guy
know. I
from the
know.
situation. Yeah, right.
But
Um,
they both are FBS teams. I mean, so they're in the same basically the same league.
yeah, but baseball is baseball, right?
Yes. All I'm saying is you don't know what
Yeah, but
talent A would do against talent B. Like they
but
could be equally as good or bad. It doesn't matter. They still have to face each other for their stats to be
But that's
combined.
what my argument was about the college piece, right? Like if a guy goes for a Heisman and they're playing different conferences, you still look at the stats. No matter if they played easier at talent or not, you're looking at the stats and you say, damn, bro, you still ran for a certain amount of yards or caught for this many yards or threw for this many yards. It's like, you're a good ass player, right? No matter if what league you did it in, you're still a good ass player. So that's why that's why I'm saying as far as the stats wise, I don't think it makes that big of a difference as people are doing it. Like they make it seem like, hey, you threw for 4,000 yards on an easier team, but you still threw for 4,000 yards, right? If I hit 60 home runs, I still hit 60 home runs. I still got to have some gifts to do that. It's not like an easier thing. So I get it now to these days. I get it now, but back then it wasn't like dudes just pitching like they are these days. If it was a despairing like 100 miles per hour fastball to like 60, I get there's a big difference there. Right, but I don't think it's as big a difference as that people are making.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
So I thought that was a good discussion.
I know it changes a lot of career statistical leaders. I know like a couple of Barry Bonds records are now not his anymore. Just stuff like OPS and the average, and then the same guy that took those records, I can't remember his name now, but the story goes that he hit over like 800 home runs, but they can only statistically prove that he hit like 200. So I was like, it's just because I guess he played a lot of games that were not considered actual games. They were just exhibitions, so they don't count them.
Yeah, because that's a deeper story. Josh Gibson.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Yep.
I knew it started with a J, but I didn't know. I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, and I think some guy had an ERA that's like third overall for a career. Now it was like a 1.02. Yeah, just a bunch of stats. It's a big shakeup near the top on some of them. So I know people are gonna feel a certain way about it.
Yeah, so like it's just that's the thing about it too, though, is because it was a lot of off the field issues going on during that time.
Oh, of course.
They didn't get the same type of publicity because if you hear the stories, it's like when you hear the stories about a guy that was such a great player, it's like a neighborhood hero, right? Like guys, when you grew up together, you're like, bro, he was good as hell. And everybody's like, but we never got to see it. You know what I mean? So it's like, is it true? Is it a folklore? Because like I'm looking at it and they were talking about, some of the guys that went, from the Negro Leagues to MLB saying like this is the most physical specimen we ever seen, him hitting home runs anywhere from 580 to 700 feet, right? To, hitting over 900 home runs. Some accounts of people talking about him being the best defensive player, his arm and all that. It's like, damn, hopefully we wish they would have film on that just to go back and see like, okay, let's see. Like, because now you have technology so advanced that you can do calculations on say, okay, look how the velocity is coming over the trajectory and things like that to kind of predict stuff like that. So anyway, people are like, dang, they're going at it on this Negro League MLB integration.
It's for me, it wasn't about the race thing. It's just the two different leagues.
You just wanted to say
no, I don't care about it. Oh yeah, I just wanted to say Negro. Yeah. Gosh. Anyways, I don't know if you have an opinion on the mixing stats, Ryan, or not, but
I don't care.
I love the Negro.
I know you don't care about baseball, so.
Oh, that was baseball?
Yeah. It's baseball shit. I thought it was civil rights movement.
No, I don't care. I went down a rabbit hole, so I was reading shit.
What are you reading? Let's segue to football. What you're reading?
I just was trying to figure out how contracts work and why the salary cap doesn't exist for the Eagles, or if they're eventually going to be screwed with all these voided contracts. All their contracts are voided years.
It's not just the Eagles, bro. Everybody's doing it. The Chiefs did it this year too.
I know, but I'm talking about every player. Saquon.
Yeah.
AJ
They'll
Brown.
pay the piper eventually.
Well, yeah, they're paying Hassan $20 million and dead cap this year to not be on their team. So eventually they're going to be in cap hell. But I love that they get
bad, bro.
They get thought of as like these geniuses
Well,
But when it
is
doesn't
because
work out,
they're legally circumventing the cap. That's what they're doing. They're
It's
making
like
the cap
people
crap.
evading taxes.
What's that?
I said it's like people like when they evade taxes,
Yeah.
or not evade, how they maneuver around the
They
taxes.
can roll.
People
They
like,
keep rolling the taxes.
yeah,
They're
they
like,
pull it
oh, well, I
back,
took a capital loss, or
yeah, or I sold it, but I sold that shares, but I put it for a house, or
right.
I pushed that back years, and people are like, oh my god, they're not paying taxes. Like, bro, these are the tax laws. I'm just following what they ever do in my favor.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing. They're getting the loophole, and unless they change it, that's everybody's doing it now.
I mean, it's
to a certain degree.
It's a loophole, but I also think that the way they do it is really risque.
Yeah.
Like right
They're
now they're
aggressive with it.
fine, but like in 2029, 2030, like they could be paying players that are just sitting on the couch for like 20 mil.
Yeah, but they're probably gauging it. Like they have probably analysts thinking, okay, you have a window here of when you can win. And after that certain point, you're not going to win anymore, probably. It's just very unlikely. So they're just going to go with a reset year. They're going to be like, okay, 2029, we're resetting our cap. And we're just going to be shit. Or we're not going to be able to pay anybody, at least, for that year. You know?
Or they're just anticipating trying to be able to renegotiate. Like Jalen Hurts, his cap hit in 2029 is a voided year. It's not on his contract. But that cap hit is $97 million.
But when he gets to the last year of his non-voidable years, they'll just re-sign him if he's their quarterback, and they'll just roll all of that voided shit down the road even more.
Yeah. But if he's not, they have a viable out in 2028. And I don't even know. What does that say? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
$7 million dead cap, but I don't know what that equates to because they have to give them all these voided years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't understand how it works. I eventually feel like they're going to screw themselves. Now, in their minds, they don't care as long as they win a championship.
That's right.
Which they won't.
I mean, even look at the Chiefs, what they do with Mahomes every year. They convert all his money to bonus and roll it so his cap number is lower so they can afford to put pieces around him, which is smart to do. You want to do that because no team can realistically afford $50 million for a quarterback a year. It's but you can't do it and have talent around him.
Theirs is so much different though because it's over a longer period of time and it's really just one player. I'm saying
they do it with Chris Jones too. Look at his contract. He's only $7 million this year, and then it balloons up to like 30 or something like that.
Let's see.
And they'll just keep pushing it down if they want to keep him. They'll just keep kicking it down.
He has no voided years.
No, I know, but his money goes way up after this year. His cap number.
Yeah. I mean that's expected. I mean they kept it low that's usually what they do. The first year it's really low. Yeah. And then they back end it. But I'm saying if this was the Eagles, they would have 5 voided years at the end of this contract, and then it would be $7 million this year, $10 million next year, $11 million the following year, and then like $75 million.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like, I know that they're circumventing the cap, but at some it feels almost too good to be like. If I was an Eagles fan, I'd be like, we're eventually going to have to pay the piper. So like something has to fall here.
Yeah.
It would make me feel uneasy. But that's just me.
I mean, I think the idea really is once that player leaves your organization, you feel like you're probably going to need a year to rebuild anyways. So that's probably factored in. Like
every player that they get, Saquon.
Well, they're not all the same year. I mean,
no, yeah, maybe they're mixing around. I mean, they're paying $20 million to Hassan, so that's like the first contract I've seen like actually backfire for them in terms of their voided years.
I mean, because like their team is still loaded.
Well, yeah, that I know.
And they can afford it. And then next year they'll have 20 more million in their cap space to use, which probably
Maybe.
they've already
Potentially.
accounted for with another voided year somewhere.
Exactly.
This is why it takes a team to run the cap for these teams. Like it takes a team of people. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Nico Collins got the bag. 3 years, $72.5 million.
Yeah, Kane said, "Damn."
Mm-hmm.
He's
For
like, "Is
sure.
that really how much he's worth?"
That shit is crazy.
I mean, it's literally just last year.
Yeah. It's just the going rate for top end wide receivers now.
What do you think Ayuk's worth?
He's gonna get at least 25 million a year.
I think he wants more than that.
Sure, he wants more than that, but I'm just saying, like, that's probably his floor for his contracts. Like, that's starting point.
You think he deserves a Amon-Ra St. Brown type contract?
Ayuk,
No.
hell no.
But he's gonna want it. He's gonna ask for it, and
Triple.
there might be a team out there that will give it to him.
Why wouldn't you give contract that to Ayuk?
Because he doesn't do the same production.
Yeah, it's different.
St. Brown, what St. Brown does for that team, he does way more than Ayuk does.
Yep.
If Ayuk can continue the progression that he's doing right now, but actually be more dominant with his numbers, as far as scoring more touchdowns, things like that, I think he might get it. But right now, it's a lot of mouths to feed, and I don't think Amon St. Brown has the same luxury that he does.
Yeah.
I think Ayuk is just as good as a player like St. Brown. He's just not as needed on the
Yes.
49ers.
Yeah,
I think
was gonna say that.
Ayuk should be. He needs to get out of there, and then because I think he's worth it. Like,
Yeah, that offense is not good for anyone that wants to get paid at the wide receiver position.
It's too many
Because
mouths.
the offense is running back focused,
Mhm.
and so it all goes through running back.
But even with that being said, Ayuk, that system fits him, right? Because he has went from a guy in college that was a big play explosive dude to now he's kind of fit the role as a possession receiver. Not saying he can't get open and score, he's still fast, but I'm saying he's a route technician. So with that being said, I don't know what other team will fit his style because he just got so acclimated to running like that. It's kind of like he has to rework everything he has done to go to another team to do stuff differently if he's going to be that number one and get the ball every single time. Because we've seen throughout the year times that he needed to show up, he's getting strapped.
if you're
Yeah.
if
So it's like
you
the
are the 49ers, what do? You get rid of
let him go.
Debo? No,
Or-
I
Well, yeah,
I
I
make
get
the
rid of
decision. I
Debo
get rid
first
of Debo, and then
Why?
I keep Ayuk.
because he's not that important to the offense.
Anymore.
You can find another gadget guy.
You're right. He's not as important to the offense with
Christian
with
McCaffrey.
Christian
there.
McCaffrey.
Right.
When
Yes.
Christian
This
McCaffrey
all
came here,
hinges on that.
yeah, when Christian McCaffrey came, it changed his whole role. Because before that, it made sense why Debo wanted the money because he was doing so much.
He was
But
doing a lot of what CMC does now.
But what CMC does is like,
And that's just because they didn't have a running back that was that versatile.
yeah.
And Debo could do it. Even
Well,
though he wasn't really a running back, but he just did it.
But I actually think the addition of CMC with Elijah Mitchell is kind of like stepped up his game. Because when he came in, he didn't look bad either. He looked like he was running on a mission. Granted, you're not going to bank on him, but I'm saying like he's a good substitute in case something does happen to CMC to where,
Yeah. He's just not nearly as dynamic. He's a good player. But
Oh, no.
CMC is just special.
Nobody is dynamic like CMC.
Right.
But like he's a generational type talent,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
You only see one or two of those guys at a time, ever.
yeah,
I think in a time period.
I think at one point in time it was like 3 of them, 3 or 4.
Like
Maybe
we used to have,
5.
like AP was like the guy back then. In the
No,
early
but I'm saying like
2000s.
when it was Kamara, CMC, Dalvin Cook, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and like Saquon when he first came in the league that year, it was like, oh shit, it's some guys running. It was some guys running.
Yeah.
even like the CMC's like second year with Le'Veon Bell and who else was in there? Still Derrick Henry and a couple like
Did you know? Did you know Kamara's never rushed over 1,000 yards?
no.
Because he's not a running back.
He's not really
He's
a
a
running
gadget
back.
guy.
He's not a
God,
gadget.
I don't
Don't
like him.
call him a gadget
But
guy.
but the thing is he's a outside zone runner. He gets his carries selectively, but they want him to get to touch the ball in space. And that's what CMC is good at, getting the ball in space. He can run in through the tackles better because he's a better inside zone runner. But outside zone, CMC tears that shit up, and he needs the ball in space, and he can cook in the screen game.
Mhm.
So, what do
Who
you
else
think?
we got?
What do you guys think about Derrick Henry and the Ravens? Do you think he's going to pan out? Because for some reason, I'm like hearing people say, he's washed up. And I'm like, how is
He's not
Derrick Henry
washed.
washed? They're like, oh, because he has so much miles on him.
I
And
think
in my
he's going to
opinion,
be a good fit because he's got Keaton Mitchell coming back too, which is going to be like, a little thunder, a little lightning. And then also Lamar's speed in the backfield. Like, they're going to run all over teams. They're going to have a triple option, basically. Not an actual triple option, but they have a three-headed monster in the backfield.
yeah, I'm not a Keaton Mitchell fan. He's just fast.
He's fast as hell.
Yeah, he's fast as hell, but
He just changes it up. Like, you have Derrick Henry hammer, and then you get this guy coming around the
Oh,
edge.
I get you. So it's
know
like a
what I
little Lindo White, Reggie Bush connection.
Yes.
But I think they need to feed Derrick Henry though. Like, I think if people like Gus Edwards, Derrick Henry is a way better version than that.
Oh, 100%.
Right, and I don't think people are giving Derrick Henry credit just because they like think he's washed up. Because last year, it's like
He's
he
not
had to
washed.
split carries, and what's his stats last year? I thought he ran decent. Let me see.
In 2023,
He had 11. He had
still
1167.
Well, in 2023, he still recorded the third fastest time, like in miles per hour, in terms of next gen stats.
Oh,
I don't-
yeah. Once he gets up and going, he's fast.
His game speed is different, bro. And
Well,
in a
that-
Baltimore scheme, where they run downhill right now, like that benefits him.
Well, look at freaking Gus Edwards. He is a better Gus Edwards, and that's the type of runner Gus Edwards was for that team. He's just, it's going to be in that split second where they're thinking Lamar is going to pull it. Derrick Henry is going to be in the end zone, like with the ball already.
If Lamar and Derrick get that handoff down,
It's gonna be them. It's gonna be how Mark.
scary.
It's gonna be how Mark Ingram when he came from the Saints, and everybody's like, "Is Mark Ingram really that good?" Remember that year Mark Ingram came and he had 1,000 yards, and everybody's like, "Mark Ingram, is he scoring like he's the number one?" And he was just cooking. That's what you're gonna see. Because I don't think people understand. Normal running backs are anywhere from 6 feet to 5'9", 200 plus pounds, right? They're like 230 in that range. Derrick Henry is 6'4", 250.
Right.
Like,
and he's still running faster than everybody else.
And people are like, oh man, he can't take that bruise. I said he's 6'4", 250.
Right.
It's different. It's
He's
a different
linebacker.
Yeah, it's different than a running back that's 5'10", is taking all, but he's 6'4", 250.
Yeah. That
And
big frame
he
matters.
works out like a freak.
Yeah.
Like his workout videos are insane.
It's gonna be gross to watch, honestly.
What does that tell you about Lamar's ability to throw the ball? Do you think that Baltimore's like, you know what, we're just going to double down on the run game?
No,
Because
but I
he
think
can't get it
Open
done?
it up.
it just
gonna
opens up the throwing game, like the passing game.
I think
Because
last
he's
year,
gonna have wide open receivers.
yeah, because you got to put 7 at the least every play, 7.5, 8 men in the box, bro. Because you got to think about this. Last year, people going to give Lamar credit like, oh, he couldn't throw, blah blah blah. They didn't have anybody running the ball that made them be like, oh shit, we got to put people in the box.
Yeah.
When Keaton Mitchell got hurt, they kind of stopped everything because he was getting to the edge so fast. They're like, oh my God, we can't do anything with this. Then it was just Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. And don't get me wrong, like they're quality players. It was just the fact that they're not X factors.
They're not game changers.
Yeah.
No.
Like you scheme for the running game, but you're not scheming for them. Like now you got to actually scheme for, we have to stop Derrick Henry. We can't let him cook. Because if we let Derrick Henry cook and let Lamar do his thing and let the rest of the thing, like it's hard. And I think they didn't they draft a receiver?
Who? No.
That Ravens got somebody. They got all defensive players. They got Rasheen Ali. He's a good back too.
Oh,
they did. They got Devontae
Walker.
Yeah, that's a good pickup. They got a good pickup there. I like that pickup because he's a player. He's a route technician.
Yeah, Tariq Cohen's back in the league.
He is?
Yeah, I think he signed with somebody.
What's he gonna do?
I have no idea. Nothing.
He's little.
Well, yeah, and I think he's
injury prone.
I think he's with the Panthers. No, he's with the Jets.
Yeah, he went with the Jets. That's a nothing. It's a camp signing.
Yeah, for sure. It's a body.
Yep.
What team? We need.
The NFL really has nothing going on.
I think he had an opportunity to really have a longevity career, but when he got hurt, it was over.
Yeah,
especially
and now that
was it an Achilles?
Achilles, and he did his ACL. I thought it was ACL first, came back, then popped his Achilles.
And now that they're taking the kick game out of it, that return specialists are even less needed.
What are you talking about?
I think they added.
This is bringing the kicking game back into it.
I don't think it is.
Yes, it is. It's essential
because people got to line up.
Yeah, they have to line up and they can't move until you catch the ball.
I know. I understand the rule. I don't think it's going to be.
Well, you clearly don't understand the rule.
So both sides can't do anything until he catches the ball?
Right. Nobody can move except the kicker and the returner.
And they're only 5 yards away from each other.
Bro, that means the ball is going to start on the 30-yard line out majority of the time. You got to have a fast dude back there. Cordell Patterson is going to fucking cook.
Well, that's why they were joking about, someone made a comment about Justin Fields returning kicks for the Steelers. And he's like, I'm not here to return kicks. I actually, bold prediction, I think that they end up starting him this year.
No.
Russell doesn't start all year.
Yes.
If he does start the season, it's only 3 or 4 games.
No.
And then Fields is coming in.
Why?
Because I think Russell Wilson's washed. I think he's done.
I don't think so.
A little page out of Kenny's book.
I think he's done.
I don't think so. I think it's a bad fit with Sean Payton.
Yeah, I think it's
Sean
just
Payton
a bad
wanted
fit.
him to be a certain type of quarterback, and that's not Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you got to think about Pete Carroll. He was always good with the brothers. You know what I mean? He look out for the cookout. He understood how to be around big personalities, and was comfortable with letting guys be themselves. That's not Sean Payton's thing. In the Saints, all those big personalities, he's humbled them. He's like, it's my way or the highway. Mike Tomlin, guess what he's good with doing? Being around big personalities. And I think he's going to let guys have the freedom to do what they want. And that's why he's a player's coach, just like Pete Carroll's a player coach. Sean Payton, you don't hear too many people talking about he's a player's coach. Okay, so.
Nope. He's washed.
Who Sean Payton is?
No, Russ Wilson.
Oh. I think it's going to be a good year for Bo Nix, though. I think that fits his system. That's his new Drew Brees.
Yeah, it could be, because that is the type of quarterback he wants.
Mm-hmm. Check down, touchdown.
Hey, if it works, and Bo Nix was the most accurate quarterback.
Catching the ball?
I don't even know Cortland Sutton. That's it.
And the Mims, Mims they drafted last year.
Dulcich.
That's the old tight end, right?
Yeah. Live update: Oilers are up 4-2 at the end of the second period.
Okay, baby Gretzky.
Yeah, they're trying to tie the series up.
Yeah, they have Javonte Williams, which I know. Don't cream on yourself, Ryan. I know that's your guy.
Oh, he's done.
You don't like him no more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's out right now.
Audric Eastman from Notre Dame. Don't sleep on him, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being the starter. But they got Josh Reynolds, receivers Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton. and then Adam Trapman, however you say that name.
Yeah.
They do have Troy Franklin.
Yeah,
That's good.
they did get
And-
him. And
Lil Jordan Humphrey. Lil Jordan.
Troy Franklin is a nice little ad, right?
Yeah.
Could be.
And still
He was one of the
Patrick.
receivers that fell, though.
I don't understand why though.
Yeah, but like,
I think since he's skinny, he's super skinny.
who do you think Bo Nix is throwing to? A guy that he's been throwing to in college, or
Oh, that's true. That's true. Troy Franklin.
I love that kind of connection. You think it's by accident they just drafted Troy Franklin?
Yeah. It's like Devontae and what's his name? Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
But he is a slimmer guy.
He's like 160.
Yeah. I mean he's 6'3", so he's skinny. Tall.
It's 160. He's like 6'3", what, 170s? 160.
It says 187, but
no, bro. There's no way he's 170.
He's not
There's
that
no
big.
87.
Nope.
No. Because they were talking about how thin he was in the draft.
He's just like Tyquan Thornton.
Let's see what the combine said.
But taller.
176, 6'2".
Tyquan Thornton, 6'4", I think. 6'3", maybe 6'3", 6'4".
I thought he was a shorty.
He's a tall, fast guy.
He's a stick though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's tiny.
It's because
6'2", 181.
Yeah, bullshit. He's like 160, dripping
Who?
wet.
Who you talking about?
Taekwon. I'm just telling you what the
He's only 6'2".
combine says. And then, Troy Franklin's thinner, 10 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Troy Franklin is a stick, dog. He all bones, every cut. Anyway.
Well, Devonta Smith was small too. So,
But he's also short.
no, he's not.
Dorothy Smith, 6 foot.
Okay, it's not that short. In the NFL nowadays, that's not short.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying. It's short still when you think about it from the standpoint of like how compact he is.
Right.
6 feet 170 and 6'2", 170 is two different
difference.
looks.
He's got a bigger frame. Like he
Yeah.
just looks stockier.
He's just lean, like cut up lean. Troy Franklin like really looks like a stick though, like action figure.
The wide receiver position has completely changed. Think about it. Like when I was younger in high school, if you told me there was like 5'8", 5'10" receivers, 5'9", I'd be like, there's no way they're playing in the NFL.
Why?
But now, because they weren't that tall back in the day.
Yeah, they were.
Okay. Who?
Troy Brown.
Okay, he's a shit receiver. Name a good receiver.
Okay.
That was tall or short?
Short.
That wasn't like an anomaly. That wasn't like a Steve Smith. Like, okay, he's short.
Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, he's short.
Well, how tall? He's at least
6 foot, 5'11", something like that.
I think he's 5'10".
I just said 5'9". Now we're rounding from 5'9" all the way up to fucking.
Oh, you
6
said
foot.
5'9" receivers?
5'9" and under?
Yeah, like these 5'9", 5'8" guys.
Who's 5'9" and under?
Wandale Robinson, like all these guys. Rondale
Yeah,
Moore.
but those guys don't really play. Those guys are only in the league because they all run like 4.3s. that's only, and those are not longevity careers, right? I think those guys are okay. I guess the question is making a team 1 year, maybe 2 years is not really like a crazy thing. If you're talking about career guys, I think that's a whole different comment. But I think there are a lot of guys.
Tank Dell, 5'8".
Tank Dell is 5'8".
Yes.
What?
Zay Flowers, 5'9". I'm just saying, like, where the position's going. It's like,
how the hell are they able to throw the ball to him?
That's what I'm saying. There's just these guys that are getting smaller nowadays. Tyreek Hill's 5'10".
Deion Branch.
Yeah, he's like 5'9", right?
Yeah.
In my head, when I was younger, I would think like, all right, these receivers need to be 6'3", about like 230, like
Wes Welker.
like
Santana Moss. Eddie
Hines
Royal,
Ward. It was Hines Ward.
Deshaun
Yeah, Hines Ward.
Jackson,
It was just fewer and far between. Now it's like every year you got
Antonio
these guys.
Brown,
CTE.
Yeah,
CTSBN.
I think that's when the shift started happening. Players like Antonio Brown, even Odell Beckham, who's like 5'10", like those like shorter, shifty guys.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting concept. You used to want those bigger guys like the Randy Mosses, like the 6'4", AJ Greens, Julio Jones.
Because it was an older NFL too.
Yeah.
Like how they played and the style.
T.O., big dudes.
Well, they wanted big dudes because they were running the ball more too.
Yeah, you're
walkers.
Triple option.
And the other thing you got to think about is that you had to get hit over the middle.
Yeah,
and you were running.
You actually got hit.
you don't have to get hit as much anymore. So
you didn't have those helmets.
You had Rodney Harrison out there trying to hurt you. You know, like
you didn't have good helmets back then either. You playing with leather on your head and shit. You back there like this.
So now, yeah, can you imagine Tank Dell trying to play like 15, 20 years
smoked.
ago? Yeah.
If
they can catch him.
That's the thing too, though. The guys, those linebackers, 6'2", 270. That shit ain't working.
They're running
bro.
like a 4'8".
4'8". You're not catching the damn. So the linebackers back then was so slow.
Like
4'9", but he's a ball hawk. You ain't getting nobody like that.
Yeah.
Tyreek can run a circle around you, then pass you.
You're not even covering tight ends nowadays.
No, not at all. 4'9" is you got O linemen running 4'9s. So, anyway,
all right, I'm done.
Well, we guess you got something for BK Best, Brian? Or are we good?
Nothing off the top of my head. UFC 302, I think, is this weekend.
Well, didn't you say Celtics in 5 or Celtics in 6? No matter what. No matter what. Just put it down now.
Just put the bet in. You probably get like 350 odds on that. Celtics
I don't think I'll even get that.
Yeah, you would.
I mean, they are favorites.
They're favorited.
Heavy favorite, no matter what.
Yeah. That's why Ryan was saying all they can do is disappoint. If they win, it's just what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling ever because you can't even gloat about a victory because it's like,
I will gloat.
Oh, you were supposed to win.
I will gloat the whole time. I don't even care. It'll be the first banner since 08. I'll be happy. So
let's see. Before I let the people go, let's look at the futures on those things right there. Where's that? Series props, team futures. Celtics minus 225, Timberwolves plus 1,300, Dallas Mavericks 230. Let's see. Winner special. Can I get it? Winner special? No. Series prop, player props. I don't know. I can't get it. Never mind. They won't let me do it. Bronny James, what team would be drafted by him? The odds on that is crazy.
Ooh. So, what are your thoughts on that, Kenny? Because I'm hearing a lot of rumors of obviously the Lakers want to take him, but I'm hearing teams trying to take him just as a way to get LeBron to their team.
LeBron's not going to leave the Lakers, bro.
Do you think if he has a chance to go play with his kid, he's gonna do that?
No, I think it was a cool idea before, but as much publicity is going around and how much hype is going towards Bronny's way, I think he is actually understanding that, like, listen, bro, that's a lot of pressure for my son, right? And I want him to have his own legacy. I want him to have his own way. And I think playing on the same team, while it seems cool, is kind of like a conflict of interest, right?
Yeah, I don't think even get along with it. Like,
I don't know how that would even work, right? I think it's a cool thought process, but I don't know how that would even work in the NBA. And then on top of that, I think it clouds up Bronny's his growth and his trajectory, right? And I think people been giving him a lot of shit right now because they said, man, he only averaged 3 points. He shouldn't have even went to the draft. He shouldn't get drafted and so on and so forth. But I think that's just haters, right?
Oh, yeah, because he had the medical scare, right?
Yeah, but not even that. People are just saying he hasn't played enough. But my thing is,
yeah, he missed a lot, right?
If you could do it, you would do it too. At the end of the day, his job was not let me be the best college player I could be. He wanted to go to the NBA. That's what he wants to do. If he has the opportunity to go to the NBA, cool. What you're seeing a lot right now is a lot of players are going to the NBA early at a young age. The NBA will take that chance because I heard Gilbert Arenas said this too. I get a guy that's 19. I could put 4 years in him and see him develop. Because guess what? You could do 3 years and you get Anthony Edwards. He's 22. Well, he's about to turn 22. That's 3 years. So he came out. Granted, Anthony Edwards was the number one player when he came out, right? But that's 22. You get a John Morant, cool. You get a Zion Williamson, cool. Right? You see Jason Tatum, he came out 19. Same thing. You give the guys a couple years to develop, understand the NBA, then the games progress. And I don't think people really understand that Bronny's not a bad player. He showed it in the combine. He's playing with guys that are all trying to get drafted, guys that are seniors, guys that are all the top players. He was All-American himself. He held us every time he played in a game, people thought that he wasn't going to rise to the occasion. He has done it. So at the end of the day, you can't just be hating on the man because of his father and you think he's getting, special privileges. Guess what? That's what the world does. If you good and you have things, you get special privileges. Is if people that got money, guess what? They get special privileges to ride on private jets and cut the line and do stuff like that. Is it right? That's neither here or there. But guess what? If you have the option to do it, you would do it too. If you have influential power and you were able to get your kids into certain places and you would do it too. Everybody wants the best for their kids. So I don't understand why he's getting all that.
You think Bryce is better? The younger one?
I think he probably will be better because he doesn't have the same stigma around him of being Bronny Jr., right? I think it's the name by itself being LeBron James Jr. the same. Even when they asked Bronny, would you name your kid LeBron James III? He said no. Right?
He's smaller though. He's short, right?
Bronny's only 6 foot.
No, Bronny's 6'2".
Yeah.
Anyways,
but the other guy, the younger brother is what, 6'6"?
Yeah,
already, and he's 16.
I think what you call it is 6'6", about 6'7".
I love anytime we correct Brian on a height or a weight. He's like, I don't believe. I don't, like it doesn't matter. Whatever.
When they had a picture that with Bryce standing next to Bron, it was like, damn, I didn't know he hit that spurt like that. But yeah, he's like 6'6". But I think Bryce was a better shooter, and I didn't think he's going to be as athletic. But lately, when I watched little films, he actually looks pretty athletic. So
I like his goggles.
Yeah,
I like that.
Standing in front of the TV too close. The big ass TVs in them houses. He too
he
close.
Should never get his eyes fixed. Never get him fixed.
So anyway, that's all I got, man. I don't carry this
all
up or something. But
hey, you know what's weird about the Celtics Mavs series odds?
What
is the lowest odds is the Celtics to win in 5, 4-1. The next lowest odds is the Celtics to win in 7. So I get a better number saying they're going to win in 6. That's weird. I mean, I get, you win in 6. That means you win the last game in Dallas. But I don't know.
But right now you can get the Celtics. If you take the Celtics minus 2.5, so they win 4-2.
No,
they got to be 1-4-1.
Yes.
You get plus 185.
Why do that? Why do that at all? You just go in here and be like Boston 4-1. You get plus 340.
Where you see Boston 4-1?
If you go under correct score under
series spots. Cool, yeah.
And if you want, you could put like $10. You could put like $10 on each one or whatever you want to bet. Just make it the same amount. You do. If you just say you're doing 10 on the 340, and you do 10 on the
Dallas
sweep,
is winning 4-3.
It's 600. You make money either way.
Dallas is winning 4-3.
That's
all I got. BK
put it
bet.
in, Kenny. Plus 800. Put it in.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on, guys. Before we let you guys go, let me put this in real quick. Give me 5 seconds. 5.
Dallas ain't fucking winning shit.
3, 2. What does that say? What does that say?
Oh, you only got plus 750? I got plus 800 over here if I want to take it.
4-3 bet place. Anyway, guys, we love you guys. Thank you for the support. I don't know why you get this shit. They're just showing you love. That's because you're probably a platinum member. That's why.
I get better odds.
Better odds. Hey, we appreciate the love and support. Like and subscribe. Serve the family and friends. Guys, enjoy the weekend. If you're watching UFC 302, it should be exciting. I hope Poirier gets it done. Should be a good match though. But we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.
Peace.